This is what the finished quilt will look like that we'll be working on today. It's measures around 34 by 50. It's more of a lap quilt, maybe for someone that's in a wheelchair, or if you're just sitting in a chair around a fire and you need to keep your legs warm. So sew with me and I'll show you how this is done. Okay, to get started on this new project, what we need to do is to do a bunch of piecing. What we're going to do is take 5 stacks of 2.5 by 4.5 inch scraps, and we're going to make 5 piles. Each pile will have 11 in them, so 55 pieces in all. And then you'll be sewing them right sides together with 1/4 inch along the short edge and making strips of 11 pieces each. So once that's done, I'll be back to tell you what to do next. Okay, I have the 5 strips sewn together. So just as a reminder, they were the 11 pieces of 2.5 by 4.5 sewn into strips of 5, a total of 5, so 55 pieces. I'm not going to press them in any direction quite yet because I want to get the other blocks sewn together first, and then I'll figure out how the best way to do it is for nesting. So we will put these aside for now, and next up is another fun opportunity for piecing. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this block. So what it is 2.5 by 4.5 of a background color of your choice. I've selected something on the lighter. You may decide to do something in a bright or in a darker color, whatever is your choice. And then we will be joining these with 2.5 inch squares. Right now I have these separated to show you that I will be piecing them. So right sides together here, 1/4 inch. And then doing the same size with this pile. So right sides together with 1/4 inch. And once those are all done, then they will get flipped over and joined together. So in total, we will be doing 28 of those blocks. It'll take me a little bit. So once I'm done, I will come back and show you what I've done and show you the next step. So I've got some of the strips done here, and I just want to show you to join the block. You're going to have one dark facing towards you and one facing away from you, and then right sides together, and then you will stitch 1/4 inch along here. I do suggest that if you're using lighter background to press towards the dark side. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll continue on and I'll meet you back here when all the blocks are done. Okay, so I have these 28 blocks sewn together. Each one measures 4.5 by 6.5. And now what we need to do is divide them into piles. And in each pile there'll be 7. And what you're going to do is take each one and then join them end to end so that you have 7 going in each column. And as I said, you'll have 4 columns going across. So strip pieces together, this group together, this group together, this group together, then press the seams open, and then we'll be right back. And then the final assembly starting to come together. I did press these seams open just so that they would lie flatter. I leave that up to you, but that's how I've decided to do it. So let me join these together and then I'll see you back in a minute. Okay, I now have all of these strips sewn together, and what I've done is I've laid the strip with the continuous potato chip, or the 4.5, 2.5 strip beside the white, off-white background version. And you'll notice that this is 1.5 inches shorter than this color strip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off 3/4 of an inch off each end, and then this will be the same length as this. And then what we'll do is on the right hand side, this will get stitched together. So right sides together, 3/4 or 1/4 of an inch seam, and then join it together. So let me take care of that and I'll be right back. If you don't understand about the shortening part, it's partly because this is taking a lot more seams to make the length, and I didn't want to have to start making these an odd size because they're 2.5 inch squares. If it bothers you that it's slightly shorter on the top and bottom blocks here, then by all means adjust the size, but this is how I've designed it. And one of the benefits is once this is shortened, you will not have any seams that you will have to nest. So trust me, when it's all put together, you will not notice, and it is going to retain the design that I want it to appear. So I will do that and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm just showing you how I've cut 3/4 of an inch off the top of this strip. They'll go right sides together, and then 1/4 of an inch seam along here. And then when I get down to the bottom, instead of pre-trimming it and then maybe being off a hair, I'll actually sew right to the end, and then I'll remove the bottom here. But I have cut 3/4 of an inch off this first block. I've done one already. I'll show you when I've got a few more done. But as I was explaining, there are no seams that you have to worry about lining up. So it does work out in the end, and I really like how it's turning out. Okay, I'm just showing you these columns are the ones where we just sewed the potato chips onto the sides, and then there's one that's left over, so now that's going to get sewn to the left hand side of this column. And then once that's done, then all of these from here over will get joined together. So in essence, you'll have Scrappy, the white and colored 2 rows, Scrappy 2 rows, Scrappy 2 rows, Scrappy 2 rows, and finally another one. So let me get that done. I will be lining it all up on the top, and then I'll be trimming the bottom here to make it all even. And then the next is borders, and we're getting close to being finished this project. So I'll be right back. Cool. So I now have all the columns sewn together, and we're going to start building our outside borders. What we need are 22 pieces of your background fabric. We're going to build 2 columns. They're going to be sewn on the shorter edge with a 1/4 inch seam end to end. So 11 pieces times 2. So you're going to have 2 columns like this with 11 pieces on this side, and then another one with 11 pieces sewn end to end. So 22, and these will be our first sides. Let me get to that and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm just showing you that I've put the white strips down each side, there and there. And they are pieced together only because that's what I already had cut, but you can replace that with the 2.5 inch jelly roll strips. So what I'm going to do is press them, and then I'm going to stitch some on each side. Then we will put together the border on the bottom, and again I have bits and pieces I'll be using, so I'll build a border that goes from corner to corner on the top and bottom of the same background fabric. Okay, here it is. I have the borders to finish sewing together, but I want you to see what the final design will look like. I decided the white joining all the way around as a border just didn't meet my design itch, so I've decided to change it up this way. I've got 2.5-inch pieces in the corners. The vertical sides are all strips of the potato chips, the 2.5, 4.5, with a couple undersized, and the white bottom border, same thing. So I will get this finished up and post this, and let me know in the comments if you have any feedback on this. If you want any further instructions, please reach out to me, and as always, sew with the bee.